Hey you guys, this is Steven from Steven Gaming TV, and today I'm going to show you how to make a video game inside of Clickteam Fusion 2.5. Today I'm going to show you a basic overview of the interface inside of Clickteam Fusion Developer 2.5. So we're going to jump straight away and make a new program by clicking on the new icon on the top left right here. So click on that and we're going to be taken into something called the Storyboard Editor. So the Storyboard Editor, actually let me take this off. The Storyboard Editor is where you can add levels and delete levels. So for now, let's ignore that and jump straight into the level editor by double clicking onto the thumbnail on the Storyboard Editor. So here we are inside of what we call the frame editor. The frame editor is where you do the level design. The frame editor is where you add the new objects onto your scene. It is where you add a player, a boss, some enemies, and you can also add some menu, some game over menu, some title screen menu, something like that. So what you are gonna do now is you are going to double click, then double click on active object, on active, then while you still select your active object, you're gonna go to the movement tab and go to the type, then select platform instead of that type. Then you're gonna change the gravity to 20 so it jumps higher, and double click again under empty canvas, double click on quick backdrop, then drag that down. Click one more time to show the handles, to resize it, and then you can resize that up. Maybe we're gonna resize this only a little like this just for the sake of demonstration. Now we're gonna go into the runtime options, still with our backdrop object selected. Go to obstacle type obstacle. So what this does is it defines this as an obstacle object. You don't have to know all of this for now, since I am still gonna explain this later on in some tutorials. For now I'm just gonna show you what the program does and how to navigate around. Now that you've got a basic idea of what this is, what this frame is, this is the frame editor. This is where you make your level design, etc, etc. Here we already made a little player, so you have a basic idea that here is where we add those things. We are going to go into the event editor by clicking on Ctrl E or clicking on this icon. The event editor is where you make the game logic, the game's mechanisms, the game's everything related to programming. So fear not, it's not programming as in code, it's programming as in visual programming. So right click on new condition, right click over here, collisions, backdrop. What that does is it checks if the player collided with the backdrop. Because if we just run this right now, the player is just gonna fall down straight through the backdrop. So now we check if it collides with the backdrop. You right click down below and say movement stop. Remember, it's aligned with this thing and aligned with this thing. Now that we stop the movement, every time it collides with the backdrop, it stops. It doesn't go any further. So you can move left and right, but it stops from falling down. So if you move a little bit more to the right, it's gonna fall down and bye bye. Now that is just the event editor. That's where you're gonna make the game logic. For example, if I press S, it's gonna shoot an enemy and stuff like that. Here is where you program all that stuff. The frame editor, however, is where you do the level design. Now we have this thing called a storyboard editor. Now you can see our level that we just created inside of here. Inside of this storyboard editor is where you are going to create more levels and delete levels and rearrange your levels. Since sometimes you want one level to come before the other and you want to rearrange the order of those things. So this is the storyboard editor. Here is where you add more levels and stuff like that. This is the frame editor where you do level design. This is the event editor, and this is the event list editor. What this does is it shows you all of the events in a list like this, so you can pretty much debug your game if something goes wrong and you are too lazy to hover over this and see all of the events. So you can just see it in a list like this. You can also send a screenshot online so people can debug your game for you without even having to access the original file. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and stay subscribed if you want to, like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and tell me I can get better. And don't forget to watch the next set of tutorials where I'm gonna make more tutorials on Clickteam Fusion 2.5. Thank you.